Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about online revenue strategies for directories. So thanks for joining. I'm James Chubb. I'm the founder of the company. With us today, we have Emerson, who leads our marketing, and Daniel Tallens, who leads operations. If anybody has any questions, please pop them into the chat, and we will stop periodically to answer questions. I just saw one. I can't hear anything. Is the sound okay for
Yes,
everybody?
it is to me.
Okay. You may need to connect on your audio. Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So great. And then at the end of the presentation today, we'll have some time for more questions, etc. So welcome. So online revenue strategies. Let's see. The first question I always like to ask is, are you ready to monetize? This is something to think about when you're building a new site or launching a new business. Typically with online directories, there's three distinct phases. The first one is to build content out. This is adding listings, adding reviews, articles, blog entries, etc., so that your site is ready to go. And that is a user, like a guide that users actually want to use instead of something that looks a little bit empty. Often people come in and they're like, oh, users can add their own listings themselves, but it doesn't work that way, actually. What you need to do is add the content yourself, and then once it looks full, people continue to add listings themselves. The second thing is building an audience, and this takes a little bit of time. Often this comes from outreach, things that you do to drive engagement, posting things on social media, etc. Your site traffic will start to grow. And then the third phase is monetization. And you're always going to be building an audience and always be building content, before and after you monetize. It's sort of a process that's ongoing. But if you try to start monetizing an empty site, or you don't quite have the audience started yet, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do. So keep that in mind before you get started. And one other thing that I always like to remind people with that is don't put the cart before the horse. Make sure your site looks good, you're ready to go before you go live. So what to sell? eDirectory has a whole bunch of different options for things that you can sell. The first one obviously is listings. People can sign up, add their listing themselves, check out, etc. Beyond that, the system actually offers classifieds. Classified ads are often used to sell equipment, used equipment, that sort of thing. Jobs are actually a big piece. People often use the classified module for jobs. And so that's a really important item that you can do as well. Events are another great thing you can sell through eDirectory. You can create events, charge a price for them, etc. Banner ads is another way to monetize as well. So there are different banner zones. You can set those up through widgets, put banners throughout the site, and then offer pricing for those banners. And one other big way that people monetize is through sponsored articles. And so this is where a sponsor, somebody that maybe has a listing, a company that's featured in your directory, they might write an article and then post that, and then you charge them a fee for that. In terms of the checkout process with sponsored articles, often that's sold as a package or something separate from just the standard checkout. And when you're doing sponsored articles, also we recommend that you edit it and you control the quality of what's going up and make sure that it's relevant and of the standards of the site that you're running for that. One other great way to monetize is through bundles. And this is actually one of the most important things people have told me about this presentation today is you can bundle other services in with listings, and you can think about anything you can possibly sell. Because online directories are, it's sort of a form of marketing. People often offer auxiliary marketing services with it. So websites, email hosting, We have a product we're working on called Page One Sites that allows you to sort of resell websites, but there's already a bunch of platforms out there to do websites, Wix, HostGator has a platform, etc. You can build WordPress sites, whatever you need for people to do that. Email hosting is a great one too, because it's really good, to keep people from to reduce your churn rate. Once you're hosting people's email and website, they don't churn very quickly, typically. Another one that works really well is video creation. And so this is basically where you go out to a business, you record a video, and then you post it both in the directory, and you give the sponsor the video where they can take it somewhere else, post it on their own social media, post it with their own, post it on their own website, etc. with that. And then also other services around marketing, ad management, SEO, content writing, etc. And so with these services, some of them you may have expertise in. Some of them you can learn expertise in. A lot of this stuff, it's not rocket science. You don't need a 4-year degree or PhD or anything like that to do a good job at it. You can study. It should be professional, obviously, if you're going to run it, but it's not terribly difficult. But on the other side of that, what you can actually do is partner with a specialty firm that provides some of these services, or even freelancers. And so you basically outsource it, where somebody else provides a service and then you offer it. And then what these bundles allow you to do is to increase your price for your listing. They're a lot better for retention. And especially when you're getting started, you want to give people some tangible value, some sponsors tangible value. And so that comes from a lot of these services. A great way to do that, to provide that. I see a couple questions come in, so I'm going to just stop and check it for a second. And let's see. A banner ad. Okay, we'll answer some of that stuff at the end. As you're building your content and your audience, it's a good idea to require users to register to use the site and limit access to unregistered users. I'll answer that one from Mark. So Mark asked a question: should you require users to register? This is end users, just to look at the site, etc., and limit access. And so the answer on that, I would say, is probably not. At the beginning, you really want to spread your brand out there. And so I would leave it open. We typically recommend doing a free listing as well. And what that allows you to do, because if you have a lot more visitors, a lot more people using the site, it's more attractive to sponsors as well. So keep that in mind whenever you're restricting something, as you may lose a lot of that user base, and having that excitement out there in the marketplace is what often helps get things going. Okay, and I'll stop again periodically to answer some more questions, and certainly at the end. Affiliate programs. So one other thing you can do through the directory is offer affiliate programs. You can embed affiliate links within the sponsor listing, etc. And these allow, basically, when somebody sees something in the directory, they click this link, go somewhere else, check out, buy a ticket to an event, buy a product on Amazon.com or some other website. We have a plugin for iDev Affiliate, which manages the affiliate program payout and all that sort of thing. Affiliate programs are helpful for monetizing. Typically, you either have to have a pretty high-priced item, or you have to have a lot of traffic for this to generate significant revenue. Some people do sites around things like credit cards, insurance, etc. And there's some affiliate programs out there, I think, that can generate some significant money if you're able to bring people in to sign up for some of those services. So it does work. You need to think about it, though, which strategy you're going to go for: a lot of traffic, or a high ticket, high affiliate fee for that, as far as that goes. One other thing people do is embed AdSense. So Google has this program where, Google Ads, sometimes you go to a website and you'll see these blocks of Google Ads throughout the website. So Google has a program, you can sign up for it, and then they'll give you a little snippet of code, and then you can post that into your eDirectory in the ad zones in there. And then what it'll do is in your directory site, it'll show ad banners in various spots throughout the website. These will earn you a little bit of money. It's not a lot. You really have to have a lot of traffic for this to be significant at all. So think about that. You can certainly test it though. And there's a whole ad market out there beyond Google. There's other types of programs that you can do, and they'll give you a little affiliate snippet. You post that in, and you can earn a few cents through that. So that's one other thing people do. And then what else? What else can you sell? And so think about it, be creative. You may have something that's very specific to what you're doing that you know about. People do packages for travel, for events, whatever. Bundle whatever you can in with the listing. You can just edit the listing checkout page there. Hey, what we offer, bronze level has this, plus put in your own services there. And be creative. Think about what else you can sell to raise your average ticket. As far as now, we'll talk about how to price it, how to price your listings. So pricing on the listings depends on the market. So some segments have much different pricing than others. Some industrial segments are very, very expensive, whereas things like very consumer products like haircuts or babysitting, et cetera, is a pretty low ticket items. So, and think about what value you're providing. Like how many signups will a sponsor of a listing need to get before they're able to pay for the listing? And that gives you some idea on it. Some categories will pay a lot more than others. So like you have a bakery, you go to a bakery and you get a bagel and a coffee, it's like $10. Whereas if it's a hotel listing, hotel is probably $150 a night times 2 nights average stay, $300 average ticket. So the hotel will probably pay a lot more than a bakery will. So even within your own directory, you may have different pricing per category. And eDirectory has a way to set pricing on category to raise the pricing over the basic pricing. And if you have any questions about that, you can ask us later or reach out to our support team on how to set that up. Also for the pricing, you can estimate the value using Google Ads. So Google has this, if you sign up for Google AdWords, even if you don't intend to buy Google Ads, you can sign up there and look at all their tools. They're really interesting. They've come a long way over the years, and you can learn a lot of things about the value of different keywords and different segments, et cetera. They will tell you the average click, how many clicks there are, related keywords, all that sort of information. So like, this example here, Washington, DC hotels has different values per clicks, how much you're going to get, et cetera. And then this is a great value proposition when you're doing your sales pitch. It's like, oh, Google charges 30 cents a click. For 1,000 clicks, that's going to be $300. We're going to deliver that to you every month. And we're only going to charge you 200 or something like that. And it turns out to be a pretty good value proposition for people. Market segmentation, another one that's pretty important. We recommend typically 3 levels, a free level, an affordable level, and an aspirational level. The free level is really important because it gets people engaged with the directory. Then they'll have a page on there. It drives search traffic. So you'll have a lot more visitors if you have a lot more pages, a lot more content. The affordable level is probably the level where you'll make most of your money. It's a typical listing, they'll pay X. And then you have the aspirational level. And the aspirational level, there's some businesses that need to sort of project that they're market leaders. And so they're only going to buy the full page ad. They're only going to buy the big package because they need to show that they're a market leader. Also, it allows you the way to discount and do other things to show value to people when they're building out a directory. So think about those 3 levels. Directory, you can have more levels than that, but often unless you're really set up and you have a lot of listings, that further segmentation just adds friction to the sales process. So it may be something that you really want to think about before you do that. Monthly versus annual pricing. So when you're thinking about your pricing, you can price it monthly or annually, per year. And so when you're getting your directory started, one thing to think about is that you must have return on investment for an advertiser before they renew, or you're going to have a very high churn rate. They're going to cancel. And so we typically recommend when you're starting a new directory that you start with some type of an annual pricing. It's a little bit harder to sell, but it typically isn't that much harder to sell than a monthly, and that'll give you a full year of runway to be able to get your site off the ground and get things running as far as things go there. So think about that, and over time you can change your pricing. You know, it's not set in stone. You can grandfather in old customers, that type of thing, as far as that goes. Sales and marketing. Understand your organization's sort of capability and maturity as far as sales and marketing goes, and execute accordingly. Sometimes what happens is we see a lot of new customers that don't necessarily have a lot of experience, and they come in and they read all this stuff about how a really giant company runs their sales and marketing organization, and they have different tools and methods and et cetera. And that adds just a lot of friction. If you're just starting and you have a small group, or even if it's just you yourself, you may need to get out there and just sell and not worry about having the CRM running and everything totally organized, because you can keep everything in your head if it's a small group. And then as you get bigger, and you know, as it turns into a larger media organization, you have a dedicated sales team, dedicated marketing team, then you can add some sophistication, some tools, et cetera, to get that going. So the first thing is a sales plan. Build by a sales list, a business list, which is your sales list. It's also typically your listing list. This is typically how things work. So you say, hey, I'm building a directory of piano teachers for New York City. So the first thing is you get a list of all the piano teachers in New York City. And then you import that into your directory. You build out listings, you make sure that they look great. Maybe not all of them, but at least a good set of them, so that the directory is usable, the market leaders are shown there, et cetera. Then what you do is reach out, you and your sales team reach out to people to claim the listing. Hey, we want to feature you on the directory, send them emails, you can reach out by phone, et cetera. And then upsell to paid listings and offer them other opportunities. And so this is the basics of selling and getting the directory up and running. And then over time, you'll have a list of paying customers, and things will start to grow organically. That's the goal. Sales versus marketing. So understand your cost per contact. Just marketing only directories where you don't have any personal contact from any person, where it's just maybe you're sending some emails or running some ads to bring them in. This typically works for very low cost listings, where people can like, oh, I'll just buy the listing and see if it works. If it doesn't work, it's a few bucks. It's not that big of a deal for a business. If it's a little bit more expensive and people need to think about it, do I want to buy that? Is it going to turn ROI for me? Then you may need to do some actual sales. And then the first level of that is obviously telesales, where you have somebody reach out by phone. Times have changed over the last 10, 15 years, and people are often hesitant to pick up the phone. It's really tough to get telesales running, the spam calls, robocalls, et cetera. So think about this. You need to have some experience probably to do this, but still it does work. We've seen it work, and you just need to have the sales script. You need to test it. You need to understand what your clients are looking for, et cetera. And then in-person sales, it's much more expensive per contact. This typically works if you have a sort of a much higher priced listing, often for like niche industrial things where the listing may cost $1,000 or more than that. And then you can reach out to people and actually talk to business owners and get them to sign up. Going to trade shows and organization events is a great way to reach multiple people through the same setting. Let me check the chat here real quick and just see if anything came up. Okay, I had a question about customer success manager. I'll pick these up at the end here. Yeah, let me just pick these up. I didn't see anything specific to these specific slides here. So I'll run these at the end. We're getting there anyway. So anyway, sales always needs marketing support. Keep that in mind. So sales is when you're going out and selling to people, and then marketing is you're doing things to attract people to come to you. So write a schedule for your sales and marketing tasks, what you want to do, what you want to execute day by day, etc. Make a plan, basically, just in terms of execution. Use a CRM for sales if you have additional sales reps. And there's a bunch of CRMs out there, Insightly, Salesforce, Sugar CRM, Pipedrive. There's a bunch of them out there that you can use, even Excel spreadsheets. So probably the first level is an Excel spreadsheet. Hey, these are my contacts. I'm going to go contact these people. And then you get into the CRM, which assigns different leads to different reps, etc. And just be careful about this, because we've seen people spend a lot of time on this without really having the full sales team and the sales training and all the things involved with that. And it just adds more friction than it's worth getting started. And then once you're going, watch a set of 3 to 5 metrics. These might be activity metrics, how many calls you're doing, we're actually connecting to people. Are people signing up for free listings, and then are they checking out and paying, etc. One other tip we have for people when they're doing sales is to go elephant hunting, where you're trying to sell a very large package that's something maybe you don't offer on the website publicly. And we've seen customers of ours, they have these packages where it's like they generate 25-30% of their revenue off of a couple customer accounts. 3 to 4 accounts might generate most of the revenue, and then the rest are from small accounts. So search for a few big sponsors who are kind of market leaders, and then offer them whatever you can: site-wide sponsorship, mobile app sponsorship, time commitments, whatever else you can think of to make it a really good value for them. And then at the end of the day, it's really like, think about the value you're providing for your directory. Like, what is it? How are you selling this? What value is your directory providing? And so you're giving people visibility, obviously, and that has a value that you could check on with Google. How many views or clicks or whatever am I driving through my directory site, and what is that worth? And that's one part of it. On the other side of that is the leads. Like, if you're actually generating real leads because your traffic is better than just some random traffic coming in from Google, that goes a long way too. So your traffic is really good. And then one other big value that people provide is this idea of seal of approval. So your directory is sort of the industry standard. The industry provides a seal, the stamp of approval there. And that's something that can be of tremendous value. You can put out badges in your directory that people can put on their own website and their social media to say, hey, we're in this directory, we're editor's choice in this directory, etc. And so there's a lot of value in that as well. So think about that. And then at the end of the day, you got to deliver ROI. And so how do you do that? Especially, hey, I'm just getting started. I got a new site. What can I do to get this ROI for my customers? I got to get them this return on investment. If I don't, they're going to churn. So what do I do? So one idea that works really well is think about what you're charging. And if, say, you're charging $100 for a listing, maybe increase that, charge $300. And then you can take that extra money that you're charging and actually buy traffic that goes right into those individual listings. And so that customer that bought a listing from you is going to see that traffic come in. They're going to get some leads, and that'll give them some ROI. You're essentially providing some like agency services there, where you're buying traffic to go right into them. That's qualified traffic. So this is a great technique to get things going, to get off the ground. Some people actually, they actually, when they sell that first couple listings, they spend more than the listing actually paid to get things up and running and to get things moving, get their reputation going there as far as that goes. So that's one other technique. And at the end of the day, with these directory sites, quality content is really the key. So you need your content to be curated. And what that means is basically like whatever segment you're building a directory on, you need to really ensure that what's in there is relevant to the users. You don't want all the other stuff. Google has all the other stuff. All the other websites have all the other stuff. What you want to do is stay focused and provide really good quality content. really good quality listings, really good quality reviews, etc. That's the key to getting the directory site running and providing really good value to the users, and then the sponsors will come. And so to close here, just the standard presentation is never underestimate the power of persistence. It takes some time to get these sites up and running, to get the content filled out, to build the audience. But after it's running, it's actually a really great business model. It can kind of run itself. People add listings, etc. But it does take some work. It does take some time to get things up and running. So stick with it. Put that effort in up front, and you'll see it pay off as time goes. So great. With that, let me see. Let's open it up to questions here. Let me just check here through the questions, and I'll just run down them and answer them as they came in. Okay. Great. Okay, let's see. We had a question from, and I think some of these Emerson may have answered on the chat, but I should just go through, right, Emerson, and read them as they come in. Yes. I have no clue. Yep. Okay, I have no clue what a banner ad is. I'm an immigrant to tech and not native, coming from manual typewriters and no computers, phone in the hall and a wire. No, that's great. So a banner ad is just these ads you see on websites that might have an image. It might be a car ad, whatever it is, these ads, these little advertisements you see on various websites. So eDirectory has a way to put ads throughout the website. You can embed them in different pages on the website, and that's what a banner ad is. There's different sizes for them. And then when they're displayed, there's different tracking on the back end. How many views they had, how many click-throughs, how many people clicked to the banner to go to the external website and look at a product or something. And you can search about this. There's a lot of material online about all this marketing stuff. Mark had a question. As you're building your content and audience, is it a good idea to require users to register to use a site? I already touched on this earlier, but no, we typically think it's really good to keep it open at the beginning. If you're the New York Times, you can put up the paywall because your content is so good and you have such a reputation. But at this phase of things, we don't recommend a paywall unless you're in a really niche industry, as far as that goes. Vanessa, okay. I'm working on the banner ad section. I find that the pricing page doesn't explain where the banner ad will appear. I think they want to know what their options are before they spend. Yeah, so the question is the pricing page on the eDirectory sponsored checkout doesn't show where the banner ads will appear. And the reason for that is you can configure where the banner ads go throughout the website. And then you can edit the pricing page. So typically what people do is they decide where they want to put the banner ads on the website, and then they go to the pricing page and edit it to explain exactly where the banner ads go. That's typically how that works. And if you have any more questions about that, Barbara, please just reach out to us and we can have our support team help you out on editing that page. When you're logged in as a site manager and you're clicking through the front of the website, you can click edit this page and go in and change things. So you can go to the checkout page that shows the pricing, edit this page, and just change the text there to explain. Okay, we had a question. Small businesses are listed in Google Map for free. What is the need for directories? Google grabs every website and puts it in there without the owner's permission. No, this is a great question we often get is, hey, I'm already in Google. Why would a business, businesses are already in Google. Why would they need to buy a listing in a directory? Or, hey, my business already has a Facebook page. Why would I need my own web page? Or why would I need a directory listing? And so basically what you want to do as a business, as a small business, is dominate the search results there. So yeah, you're going to be in Google Maps, but also you want to be in the top 5 places of the top search results so that when people are looking for what you're selling, they're going to find you first. And so you need to be everywhere. That's just the marketing for a small business. And so It's certainly, putting yourself, adding that extra spot to Google for your directory listing is a great value to a business. The other thing about that is Google and these other large sites are not very well curated. And so often people building directory sites, they set up sites on niche segments. And these segments really are very good for helping people make purchase decisions. And so where Google has everything, some of it may be great, some of it may be not so great. Your directory site can ensure that there's only really good providers in there, and that's an enormous value to people trying to make a purchase decision. How can directories compete toward the Google model? Yeah, that's it. So everybody wants to be everywhere, and also you're very niche with what you're doing, and so that's helpful. Years since I did Google AdWords. Is there a free option to access Google AdWords? Yeah, absolutely. So Google AdWords, I think you can sign up without a credit card, or maybe you need to put in a credit card, but you don't need to spend anything. And often they'll give you $50 free or something. I don't know how it works today, but you certainly can log into Google AdWords without spending any money at all. And there's tons of tools in there, tons of tools. Mark had a question. Would we put the offers for these marketing services on a page for our directory, or just offer them advertising individually to customers? No, so if you're offering bundling in other services, you want to add that to your order page typically, or add it to a custom page somewhere else on the website typically. You certainly want to promote that stuff you're selling anywhere you can, and on the checkout, instead of just selling a listing for $99, you can say listing plus 2 videos per year for $1,000, and that typically adds a pretty good value proposition.
James, just to add a little bit here, we can add to the pricing widgets to display these offers, and we can also send the custom invoices for these additional services as well, directly from the site manager dashboard.
Yeah, so that's great feedback, Emerson. So eDirectory has a feature called custom invoices. And what it allows you to do is just send an invoice to some email address to a customer that has whatever you want in there. It doesn't have to do anything with the listing. You can say, we're going to charge you for video creation, whatever else. It's in the site manager. If you have trouble finding it, you can check out our knowledge base or reach out to our support team, and they can show you how to do that. You just create the invoice there, put in video creation service, $200 or however much you're going to charge, email address you want to send the invoice, you send it, and then they can pay through Stripe, and all the payment info shows up in the directory. Question, customer success manager. Today I started my 7-day trial. Is there somebody that can help? Yeah, so Emerson's going to reach out to help with the training and stuff. New customer. A question here. Hello, I have patented using WebRTC for advertising. That's interesting. So WebRTC is a video protocol that allows live video. I would like to show you what I have and to see if this is interesting to you. I used to be an eDirectory user, etc. Sure, yeah, you can reach out to Emerson. He sent the address and he'll take a look at it, Claude, so thanks. How do I buy traffic that isn't sketchy? I don't want 2 million clicks from the other side of the planet. Yeah, so when you're buying traffic, there's different levels of sort of traffic quality, and buy some random traffic that'll send you automated clicks or some junk traffic, etc. Google traffic is really great. Really great quality traffic. You can put in the keywords that you're looking for, the market areas, etc. Like you can say, oh, I only want traffic from North America or this state or this city, and I only want it on these keywords. And really good traffic, but it's expensive, of course. On the other side of that, there's other platforms. Facebook has a platform, LinkedIn. Microsoft has a platform. You can buy traffic all over the place. There's also ad networks that aggregate traffic. You can just, if you research that, you just go into Google and search how to buy traffic. I mean, Google might try to direct you to them, but there's a lot of places out there. Typically the cost quality, there's a ratio there as far as that goes. Question, categories. If I create categories and subcategories in bulk by inserting them, copy paste in the directory, how many lines can I insert into the window for bulk creation? I don't actually know the answer to that, like how many. In the eDirectory site manager, there's a way to add categories. And you go in there and you can paste. I suspect it's hundreds of lines. But you'll be able to scroll down and see what the limit is on that. The other thing is when you're importing listings, if the category hasn't been created in the directory yet, it'll create them automatically. So often people just create categories when they're adding a listing. How can I control the positioning of browse by category? Right now, it defaults in alphabetical order. I don't know if there's a way, Emerson, is there a way, do you know, to change the default ordering of a listing result? I think that's what it's looking for there.
I believe not out of the box, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, if we don't have that feature out of the box where you can set sort of the default ordering, reach out to an account manager. We can see what we can do there. It might be a quick change. There might be some cost to it where we can customize it, et cetera. It's a very easy thing to do, though. I think you know, if we do need to customize it, so it shouldn't be too expensive. Sometimes I have a tongue-tied way of saying what I offer. I find myself using eDirectory wording. Is that okay to use the word eDirectory uses to add lead? Oh, I guess the question here is we have some default marketing content on our website, and the question is, can I use that content when trying to sell listings? And yeah, that's fine. But I think over time, as you get to know your market better and you see what works, you'll probably find that you can think of much better wording for that. The other thing, if you're struggling to put together marketing content, a really good thing to do is to talk to customers. You know, call them up, see what they're doing, what their interests are, what the stresses or needs of their business are, and then you'll come up with some great wording that you can use on the pages of your website to sell listings, etc. Also, I want to monetize the featured listings for our site and want to control it manually via placement and positioning versus the current default popular listings, etc. Yeah, so we have widgets. If you want to control exactly which listings, we have a widget, I believe, that allows you to pick individual listings. It's under the cards there, and you can put in individual listings. You can select this listing and put it in certain places with that. If you need some help on configuring widgets, etc., throughout the website, reach out to our support team, and they can certainly help you. Say, hey, look, I'm looking to put this specific listing on this page. How do I get it done? And they can direct you on how to do that. Can eDirectory be set up for a national directory for a specific niche of businesses and practitioners with many sub niches rather than a local directory? Oh, absolutely. So I would actually say probably the majority of customers aren't doing local search. They're doing some other niche type of directory. We do local search, of course, but they're doing businesses, practitioners, doctors, dentists, whatever, even within those certain segments. So you can set that up. There's listing templates you can create where you can create certain fields specific to those practitioners. If you're doing a directory on only golf courses, for instance, you can set up fields in the listing that are specific to golf courses for that. If you need any help on getting that configured or what you're looking to do, reach out to us and we can give you specific tips. Emails. I have a question concerning emails that will be sent to my directory. When I have a large directory with millions of users and sponsors, a lot of transactional emails, I can only add a SMTP server information, but SMTP is not good for high volume transactional emails that have to be sent daily. So there's a question about, okay, I have a big directory, I have millions of emails in it. How do I get these emails sent out? How do I control email delivery? This is probably something you want to reach out to an account manager when you're approaching this problem. But basically, the way eDirectory works is it connects to an email server. And so you can use the default server that kind of comes with the system, which is great for medium volume, whatever. But if you're sending out large volume emails for like things like, oh, your listing's going to expire, et cetera, there's third-party services that are often connected. These are things like SendGrid, et cetera. The way this is actually configured is typically you just put in the server information in the site manager for that high volume server that you're looking to use. But there's a number of services that are specialized in sending high volume emails out for that. But yeah, you can reach out to us if you have questions on some of those specifics. Would there be a possibility of YouTube type videos for us who may struggle with language and instruction? I know some of the widgets. Yes, this we're working on putting together more videos for our knowledge base. That's actually one of our top priorities for the knowledge base and also our marketing materials. So we will have more videos available. A number of our knowledge base entries already have videos in them, but we're working on getting the rest of them with videos. If you need a training as well, just reach out to our support team and just see if you can get a training on something, and we can do a live training for you. That's one of the big separators for us in the market, is that we'll be happy to get on the phone and do a training with people individually. Niche and specialization to show individual value apart from Google. Everything to everyone, right? That's exactly right. So the value of a directory is often providing sort of a curated experience to the end user. That's what people are looking for. How can I add a job listing where companies announce their jobs? So often people use the classified module to do jobs, and they basically just change. You can go into the site manager and change some of the wording there to say jobs instead of like classifieds. And then post the job ads in there is how that's done. If you need help on getting that set up, reach out to our support team. Payment links. I have payment platforms. Will there be an option to use the payment platform I prefer? Not a fan of Stripe. Yeah, so we support a number of payment gateways out of the box. These are Stripe is the big one most people are using today. Another big one in the US is authorize.net, PayPal as well. We have a few international ones. I think WorldPay. There's a couple other ones around the world. PagoSeguro for South America. If you need some other gateway, reach out. We may be able to customize it for you. We may already have it. It depends, but you can see the different payment gateways available. If you go into the site manager payment option, you'll see the list that we have there. But if you don't have it, we can build it out for you. There's just some cost involved to that. For one of my directories, I would need to something sponsored manually. How can I switch off the options for pricing and levels? It sounds like there's a question here how to do some custom configuration for the listing. So you can disable listing levels. If you only want to have one listing level, you can do that. If you need something that's special that we don't have in the system, reach out to the account manager and we can see what's involved in getting it set up for you. We have a custom development team with a number of developers that work full-time on just building out custom functionality. Although I would avoid it. If you don't need to customize it, avoid the complexity when you're just getting started. Okay, got the traffic thing now, understood the meaning. Yes, set up algorithms for targeting potential clients. Okay, great. How can I maximize long tail keywords? So this is a SEO, search engine optimization topic. How do I maximize long tail keywords? Long tail keywords refer to like keywords that don't have a lot of traffic. So like, car would be a keyword with a lot of traffic, and then the long tail might be 1969 Mustang. And so basically, to maximize the keywords, you can add content for all these keywords, individual blog entries, pages, reviews, listings, etc. eDirectory does a pretty good job of bringing in the long tail traffic, but you have to have the content up there. So really, how do you maximize long tail keywords is you go in and build out content accordingly. Default order, I would like to make sure paid listings appear above free listings. There is a slight weighting in the directory to put, I think if all things are equal, I think the paid listing will come up. But if you really want to like make it so all the paid guys come up even above more relevant free listings, Emerson, we don't have a configuration out of the box of that, do we? That's something we would need to tweak in the search algorithm.
It's built in. The top tier listings will show up first on the search results page. So very good.
Yeah, so I mean, basically we have it where the paid listings are going to show up before equally relevant unpaid listings. Sometimes we get directories where they have a listing that's not so relevant and they want to put the paid one up front anyway. And they really want to highly weight the paid listing. So under the hood of eDirectory, we have a very powerful search system. It's based on Elasticsearch, the Elasticsearch platform. And so there are a lot of code level configurations that can be done to weight certain things, in terms of distance or level or whatever else in there, certain fields in the thing. That does sometimes require some code level changes to it if you don't like the sort of the default setup. So on that, reach out to an account manager and see what we can do. Sometimes it's just a matter of changing some of those settings in the code. Sometimes it may be more complicated depending, but reach out and we'll see. And out of the box, it does do a little bit of weighting to rate the paid listings above if they're equally relevant. In case I use your MailChimp integration with eDirectory, does my eDirectory just add sponsors to the mailing list? Does it send transactional emails? I think the MailChimp integration is for sending newsletters, right, Emerson? It doesn't send the renewal reminders and all of that through it.
It's just to collect the newsletter subscribers.
Yeah, it's for collecting newsletter subscribers, not for sending the transactional emails like, oh, you paid for a listing or a listing's going to expire. That goes through the SMTP server for that. You offer a plugin package that has 700 plugins. I don't need anywhere. I don't think we have 700 plugins. So I'm not sure. We do have a package, I think, that comes with a bunch of plugins. If you're looking for some special plugins, some certain specific plugins, just reach out to us and see what you're looking for as far as that goes. Can we offer advertisers QR code services to put in their listing pages? I think Emerson, our mobile app, has some QR code in there. Do you know offhand that answer on the QR codes, Emerson?
The most recent version, we are using QR codes for the offers, so they can, to redeem deals, etc. So, and the advertiser can upload their own QR code if they already have a system that creates that.
Right. Yeah, so we do have some functionality in there. Reach out to an account manager about that to see if that works for you. Are these webinars archived? Yes, absolutely. We keep the webinars. We post them typically on the blog, and then we'll send an email around so you can look at them later. How can I avoid sending transactional emails through SMTP? I think there may be some understanding about what SMTP is. SMTP is a mail protocol, simple mail transfer protocol. I think all the mail on the internet actually runs through SMTP. SMTP is for outbound. You have on the inbound IMAP and POP are two protocols which download the email to your mail client. And then when you're sending email out, that typically goes through SMTP. This may be a technical question that you just need to reach out to the team with specifically to figure out what you're trying to do. It sounds like you're concerned about the volume of messages, and there's services that you can put in that can handle that volume certainly for that. If you'd like the transactional emails to use MailChimp, I don't know if MailChimp offers that, but maybe they do offer some mail service. We can check on that and see if you're able to send the transactional emails through MailChimp. If you're going to send 1 million emails per hour, that's pretty significant traffic. So I don't even know MailChimp's the right answer on that. They're probably going to charge you $1 million per hour for that. But there certainly are some mail services like the one that comes to mind is SendGrid, and there's some other ones out there. I think Amazon AWS has a high volume transactional email service where they give you a mail server and then eDirectory will connect to that for that. Can an eDirectory have a blog post to possibly tie with Medium or Ghost? Yeah, so there's a lot of ways to integrate eDirectory with other blogs, other websites. One thing people often do is on their navigation, they create a tab for that blog, and then you can click on your navigation to go to blog, and that when you click there, it goes to the blog, and then the blog has a similar navigation that has directory on it, and then you click on the blog and the directory goes back to the eDirectory. So if you set up a similar header navigation on the two websites, that'll work. Sometimes the directory is set up on a subdomain, et cetera. So if you want to reach out to an account manager, we can tell you the specifics, I guess, of what you're trying to do there. What is Medium and Ghost? These are blogging platforms. So people go in and they create an account on Medium, and then they upload their blog entries there, and it's basically a blog hosting platform. Second part of my question, we're appreciative of these webinars, but is it possible to inform or send invites a few days in advance of the webinar? Wanted others on my team to attend. I will leave that question with Emerson. He handles the webinar invites and all that sort of stuff. But yes, I think we can find a way to send the invites and all that stuff out more in advance than what we're doing right now.
Yeah, in general, send the email on Mondays, but we have a page dedicated for the registration where we post our monthly schedule. It will be updated tomorrow morning, by the way. So we'll have the next 2 events, so you can register in advance. But I will send the information by email as well. Don't worry.
Okay, great. So a question about open text. I think that question, Diane, is probably not relevant to this webinar. So about open text, microphone, et cetera. So I think we'll skip that one. As far as that goes, can we have a link? Another question came in. Can I have a link to register for all the events? Yeah, there's a link on the bottom of the website to webinars that has all the scheduled webinars, and you can go in there and register. Emerson can help set you up on that. He'll reach out to you as well, as far as that goes. Okay, and will this be available to attendees as part of the recording? Yes, absolutely. We just post the whole recording up as after the webinar, usually within a day or so. Okay, well, I want to thank everybody for showing up today. If there's any last questions, pop them in now, and I'll take one more look. Oh, what advantages could be a Big Elephant sponsor have over other advertisers? The big advantage of having this big one sponsor is revenue. You get a big sponsor, and it may take you more time to sell, but it may be 20% of your revenue. For the month, so hey, I'm selling a bunch of listings for $300, $100 a listing, and then you go out and sign a guy for $10,000, and that guy gets that company gets banner ads, newsletter sponsorship, mobile app sponsorship, et cetera. You send somebody out to do a video creation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, as far as that goes. So yeah, essentially you're trying to get somebody that's sold outside of the standard package, and as far as that goes. So, okay. Well, great. Thanks everybody for joining. We'll have another webinar, I think in 2 weeks, as far as that goes. And if anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'll post in the email of the contact of the marketing team and also our support team. We have another one about weekly webinars again. Well, thanks. We'll see what we can do on that. We actually do another webinar on the off week. We're running a webinar every week. We run the off week for South America. And so that one's in Portuguese typically. So that's why. But anyway, thanks everybody. Have a great afternoon and stay in touch. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.